What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the LFC Transfer Room YouTube channel. My name is Chris Stonage, and today we are looking at the top 10 moments from Jordan Henderson in his decade as a Liverpool player. Before we get into it though, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're so close to 1,000 subscribers, so let's go get it. Anyway, run the intro. So we're going to be running through 10 moments or 10 things that we will all remember from Jordan Henderson and his time here at Anfield. Midfielder signed in 2011 for a fee of around 16 million from Sunderland under the stewardship of Kenny Dalglish. And number 10 is his debut goal against Bolton Wanderers. In 2011, Jordan Henderson arrived as a fresh-faced 20-year-old and scored an absolute screamer in Liverpool's 3-0 win over Bolton. Charlie Adam also scored in that game, and they've had quite differing paths since. And number 9 is his Swansea double. In 2014, Liverpool were gunning for the title. They were in the middle of a great run, and Swansea City visited Anfield in the March and provided one of their greatest tests yet. Daniel Sturridge opened the goal scoring with Henderson on the score sheet for Liverpool's second. Swansea pulled it back though to 3-3 after Sturridge had scored his second, and Henderson in the last minute scored his second to win Liverpool the match. It would be crucial, but sadly not enough, as he would fall short after Steven Gerrard's slip. And number 8, the Southampton limbs. In 2018-19, we were in a similar position. At a similar time in the season to that Swansea game, Liverpool faced Southampton in 2019, in that famous purple kit. Jordan Henderson, probably unfairly, had been criticised that season for not providing enough going forward after the arrival of Fabinho. But after starting the counter-attack with his header to set up Mo Salah earlier in the match, he scored Liverpool's third as they came from behind to win 3-1. It was probably a defining moment in the season, and it would have been even more important if we had gone on to win the title. Sadly though, we lost out to Manchester City yet again. At number 7, we have his first game as captain. After the departure of Daniel Agger in 2014, Jordan Henderson was named vice-captain by Brendan Rodgers to Steven Gerrard in what would be his final season at Anfield. And on the 29th of November 2014, he did just that. He was Liverpool's captain. It was against Stoke City, and Liverpool would win 1-0 at Anfield with Glenn Johnson scoring the goal, with Gerrard remaining an unused substitute. At number 6, we have the win against Monterrey when Henderson played centre-back. The Club World Cup was a weird situation for us last season, or the season before now if you think about it. Having to play 2 games in 24 hours, one in the Carabao Cup and one in this competition, Liverpool decided to take their strongest outfit possible to the Middle East. Henderson was deployed at centre-back for the first game, as there was some tired legs, alongside Joe Gomez, who eventually won man of the match. Liverpool would win 1-0. Henderson would also play that position earlier this season with less success, but his leadership qualities were proven in that time. And number 5 is his contribution to the win against Barcelona. In probably the most famous night of Liverpool's recent history, they played Barcelona at Anfield, 3-0 down from the first leg. Jordan Henderson led the side out in both legs and started the rout off when he shot saved by Marc-Andre ter Stegen to be tapped in by Divock Origi. He was just an immense presence throughout the night, as was pretty much every man on the pitch, and was a key figure in us winning that competition. But we'll get more onto that later. And number 4 is being named the FWA Footballer of the Year. It's not often that people of Henderson's calibre and or likeness of player get to be nominated or even win these awards, but he did so last season. I think it's just a combination of what a leader he's been for Liverpool over the last 10 years, but also just the way that he carried himself last season on and off the field. It was a truly deserved award, and Henderson walks off with that in his cabinet, much to the dismay of some rival fans. And number 3, the Premier League trophy lift. Now, unfortunately, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, fans were not able to come to Anfield to witness us lift our first league title in 30 years. However, we made a pretty good job of it. Jordan Henderson himself lifted it with his traditional Hendo shuffle and certainly touched all our hearts at home. It was truly a spectacle to behold, and I mean, his contribution to the entire season, what he'd been through in the 9 years previous at Anfield, he was totally and utterly deserving of that trophy, and he's the perfect man to have lifted it. At number 2, it's his contribution to the Champions League win. Now, we mentioned Barcelona and we've mentioned trophy lifts. I'm going to combine these two just for his contribution to the 2019 Champions League win. He was immense throughout the entire of the 2018-19 campaign, silencing pretty much all the doubters that he'd ever had. He didn't take any notice of it, and he never has done. The consummate professional. And he certainly had the last laugh, with that Hendo shuffle making its debut in Madrid. So you say to me, Chris, how is that number 2? Where's number 1? Well, number 1 is not just his work for Liverpool, but for the wider community. At number 1, I'm saying Jordan Henderson the man is his greatest credit. He's an ambassador for the NHS during the pandemic, he stood up for LGBTQ+ rights, and also stood side to side with players who are experiencing racism. He's a leader throughout every dressing room he's in. He sorted out the Joe Gomez and Raheem Sterling saga back in October 2019, whilst being injured and not able to join up with the England squad. He just seems, and we feel like we know these players, but he just seems like the most genuine and sound fella we could have. And to take over from Steven Gerrard, what could have been a poison chalice, he could never be compared to Gerrard as a player, but as a captain, he's almost gone above and beyond that. I'm so glad that Jordan Henderson has stayed here for 10 years, and hopefully it can be for many more. Thank you very much for watching the LFC Transfer Room, and make sure you subscribe. See you in a bit.